Today we take a look at some of Singapore's key economical risks, as well as Singapore's ideal tool of monetary policy and why. Most people think that Singapore is a net debtor country. Earlier this year, ex-Malaysian Prime Minister Najib even commented that Singapore's debt to GDP ratio of 110% is much higher than Malaysia's 52%. However, he was only looking at Singapore's gross debt figures when Singapore has in fact no net debt because its assets are well in excess of its liabilities. Furthermore, the Singapore government doesn't borrow to consume, it borrows to invest, and it has assured the public in 2012 that the returns from the investments are more than enough to service the interest payments. Furthermore, Singapore has recorded current account surpluses annually since the 1980s. This increases Singapore's net foreign wealth and makes Singapore a net creditor country. Because Singapore has virtually no natural resources, the economy is heavily reliant on imports. Singapore imports over 90% of all food consumed domestically and obtains close to half its water supply from Malaysia. In addition, its export-oriented industries are heavily reliant on imports because they use it as inputs. For example, the petroleum industry needs crude oil, and the only oil we have in Singapore is seafood. Now, this can be a problem for Singapore because the level of exchange rate pass-through here is 100%. This means that there is more transmission of inflation from foreign countries to Singapore, and it also means that importers will feel the full impact of any change in foreign prices, as this will affect their demand, which can in turn negatively impact Singapore's output as well as its trade balance. Because Singapore thrives on being open, the ongoing trade war between US, China and the EU can negatively affect Singapore's economy in three ways. The first being the direct impacts from the tariffs itself, the second being the indirect impacts from the global supply chain spillovers, and the last being a slowdown in global trade. All of which can negatively affect Singapore's economy through higher costs and reduced demand. Singapore is the only major economy in the world to use the exchange rate as its tool of monetary policy, guiding the Sing dollar higher or lower using policy bets. According to the MAS, the exchange rate is the best tool of monetary policy for a small and open economy like Singapore because it is effective in managing inflation. This is especially important because a big portion of consumer goods in Singapore are imported, and this is also in line with MAS's goal to promote non-inflationary growth. So despite rising trade tensions, Singapore's economic growth remains stable at an estimated 2.5 to 3.5% in 2018. The Sing dollar has also been exceptionally strong, with core inflation rising at the fastest pace in 4 years in July. In addition, Singapore looks to continue running a current account surplus on reports of stronger than expected non-oil exports. However, the Singapore economy remains vulnerable to external shocks, and the central bank should always be ready to respond to any upsets in the trade balance. Thank you and have a good day.